there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, today we are talking Stephen A. Smith being a bona fide hater, anti-black comments once again, you guys. And this time around, it's about Will Smith, and it's a completely tone-deaf take, you guys. So, if you've been living under a rock, you guys, Bad Boys 4 Ride or Die came out this weekend, broke a bunch of records. I believe this is Will Smith's 18 #1 movie as the lead actor. Resurrected the summer box office because nobody was going to the movies this summer, and raked in domestically 56 million and raked in 105 million globally, you guys. It already made back and profited the cost of the movie, which was 100 million, and it hasn't even opened yet in all of the international markets, you guys. But Stephen A. decided he wanted to get on his platform and say that Will Smith owes the black community an explanation for the Chris Rock slap from a couple of years ago. And my thing is this, Stephen A. Smith, the black community is the primary demographic that is watching Bad Boys 4. You seem to be the only brother that has not seen Bad Boys 4. That's the real tea, right? So while you're talking about the black community as if we, are monolithic and we just encompass one group of people, the bulk of us went to see Bad Boys 4 this weekend, and the bulk of us are going to go see it again. So where is this energy? You thought you were going to pre-shade Will Smith and, try to shade, that he was going to get canceled because of Chris Rock? And then the comments that Will Smith, quote unquote, surrounds himself with white people, and you're defending Chris Rock, who is always surrounded by white comedians? Are we about to play this game? Oh, and by the way, I don't believe it was white people that were surrounding Will Smith after the slap as opposed to consoling Chris Rock. I believe I saw Denzel Washington and all of Black Hollywood gathered around Will Smith trying to comfort him and check on him and make sure he is okay. So not all of the white people that you think that Will Smith is surrounded by, Stephen A., right? And again, even with Chris Rock's comedy special, again, it was white comedians that were the primary hosts of the pre-show and after show. So again, please don't throw race into this. Just say that you were a personal friend of Chris Rock and you want to go out on his behalf and go out on a limb and go hard in the paint for him. Listen, if Chris Rock and his brother Tony Rock are still pissed about the slap, that's their right. Will Smith doesn't owe us anything. And if we're keeping it a buck, you act like Chris Rock is innocent in this. Maybe he didn't deserve the slap, but he has been talking reckless about Will and Jada for years. So the slap just didn't come out of nowhere, right? Literally, Chris Rock is making a G.I. Jane joke, another joke about Jada Pinkett Smith right then and there in front of the Oscars. Again, how is that positive to the black community? You wouldn't do that to any of these other white actors or actresses and make a joke like that. So how is that positive for the black community that you get on there, your opportunity to tell some jokes at the Oscars before the next presentation of an award, and you go right to the black woman and make a joke about her? So that's okay? But you've made continuous jokes about Jada for decades, right? But we're supposed to just ignore all of that, right? Because you have a beef with Will Smith. And shout out to The Breakfast Club who understood the assignment that Stephen A. Smith just sounds like a hater. And actually shout out to DJ Envy, right? Because DJ Envy said this is a perfect example of when people have too close of a relationship to celebrities, or they're too obsessed with celebrities to the point that they're taking on their persona, their personality, and their feelings, and they're not even the ones who were impacted. They're not even the ones who got slapped. But you're talking as if you were Chris Rock, Stephen A. Smith, and I need you to make it make sense. And I know you're going to respond because everybody is dragging you. Because this is just as tone deaf as you going on Hannity saying that the black community could relate to Trump and are going to vote for Trump because they have criminal past just like him. So
So again, get your receipts together. The black community is the primary demographic that's showing up and showing out for Will Smith. We never canceled Will Smith. Again, like your fave Selected Outrage comedy special. People were upset for 5 minutes, you guys. They were upset for 5 minutes. They wanted to have some viral tweets on Twitter and viral takes on Instagram and get the clicks and views and all of the things. But the moment the bad boys came out, they put their butts in the seats. They put their money where their mouth is, and they continue to support Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, you guys. So again, you can, be upset on Chris Rock's behalf. Again, we don't know these people personally. We don't know whether or not Will Smith has tried to, provide an apology or not, or whether or not Chris Rock wants to accept it. Will Smith has done at least a public apology, has done a public letter. I don't know what more you want him to do. He's banned for the Oscars for 10 years, but that's not going to stop him from making movies, you guys. And now I'm sure Will Smith's phone is ringing off the hook now from agents and directors and everything else, now wanting to put Will Smith in another movie because they stupidly followed groupthink and followed cancel culture and thinking that Will Smith's career was going to die because of a slap to Chris Rock of all people, who has said reckless things before. And this is somebody who likes Chris Rock. But let's not act like Chris Rock has just been the pillar of, comedians that is just upstanding and has never said anything that was problematic or inappropriate or too far that made people upset and or uncomfortable. But you're not going to get Will Smith canceled. That's never, ever, ever going to happen. One incident out of his entire career that has had a good image, despite what, whatever foolishness the Red Table Talk was, has still been able to come out on the other side. Has still been able to, gain his, retain and gain, his fans, right? And his supporters. So this whole thing where you think that you're going to try to cancel Will Smith because you're friends with Chris Rock is not going to happen. I don't care whether or not you see Bad Boys 4 because the rest of the black community already did, right? We already supported it, and like I said, we're going to support it again. But nonetheless, where is this energy for your white celebrity friends, Stephen A? Why do you go so hard on the black celebrities, the black athletes, and hold them to these pedestals and that they have to be perfect or else you're going to drag them to pieces? You never have this energy for any of the white actors who have said actual racist and problematic things and have gotten away with it literally. Your fave, Chris Rock, sat down with other white comedians and allowing Louis C.K. and Ricky Gervais saying the N-word repeatedly back and forth with Chris Rock. And Jerry Seinfeld was the only one with sense not to say the N-word. So please miss me about the quote, surrounding yourself with white people, when Chris Rock freely allows the white comedians to say the N-word in his presence, Stephen A. This is what I mean when people just want to, again, have selective outrage and not have all the facts and not have all the receipts. Black people are always going to support Will Smith no matter what. Black people were the primary demographic that contributed to the huge domestic box office opening this past weekend. Black people are the ones who supported Will Smith post-Oscar slap. So you need to be redirecting who's supporting who, and look over at your fave. Look at who he surrounds himself by. So please miss me with that, right? But again, I'm just over it. These people, they always want to complain about something. And like, what do you want, Will Smith to do? Beg on his knees and beg Chris Rock to forgive him? Life is too short. Either Chris Rock's going to accept his apology or not, but it is between Chris Rock and Will Smith on whether or not they're going to reconcile. But ultimately, clearly from the slap, Will Smith had it. And was sick of the Jada jokes. So again, it's not like it wasn't without cause. Now, maybe the reaction was a little bit too much, right? Maybe it offended some people, pissed people off, turned some people off of Will Smith. But the majority of the people are still going to support Will Smith, and they're also going to always support Bad Boys. And that is the takeaway from the weekend, that you can get on your platform and complain about Will Smith and demand that he gives this apology that meets your standards to Chris Rock and Tony Rock. But guess what? The rest of us don't care, because the rest of us weren't the ones slapped. The rest of us want to be entertained in all of the chaos that is happening right now in this country in this election year. We wanted to be entertained with Bad Boys 4. We knew, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence was going to put out a good product. So again, you can sit here and have your own little boycott and be the only brother, like I said, who didn't see Bad Boys 4, but nonetheless, it's not going to stop the people from supporting the film, and with the positive word of mouth the film is getting, a lot more people are going to see this movie, and it might even break even more records, right? But you did all of that complaining for what? If Chris Rock has an issue, Chris Rock can say it, right? Doesn't Chris and Will Smith have each other's numbers, right? Doesn't Tony Rock have Will Smith's number? If they're that offended still 2 years later? Or are you just offended on their behalf because you wanted to see Will Smith beaten down as a black man like he was in that slave movie and lose everything so that you could continue to big up your boy Chris Rock? That's not how this works, Stephen A. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.